Good morning, good morning, good morning, and greetings from the beautiful, beautiful island of Barbados. It is 6:05. I know this is not a black and white video in front of us. This is the actual scenery that you are going to be enjoying today with me. Haze, unbelievable haze. Now this is from the volcano way across the Atlantic Ocean, but it looks as though it is a St. Vincent volcano. That is how heavy it is. It's actually driving over here this morning. It was like driving through light fog. Very, very difficult on the roads this morning coming over, and as you can see, the sun is not even beginning to peep out yet. So the plan for my 10-foot friend has backfired. So, he has lost his opportunity for stardom. I don't even know if we will see him today because he doesn't like these conditions at all. And good morning to you all. Don't mind the haze. Look at the beauty of these rocks and the ocean out here. The wind has dropped a little bit. I've been longing for this to happen so I can bring you back over to this section of the island and cover this one area of the train line that we had done a while back, but we haven't actually been as close to the water's edge as we're going to go today, and that's because I've done a lot of exploring. Just to tell you where we are before we start off this morning, we're just to the northwest of Glenburnie, where we were the other day. Now these rocks you're seeing here are where we stopped. The coconut trees you're seeing slightly on the ridge over there on your right hand side, that is where we had parked the war wagon last time. Now, I could have started on the beach over there, but it's all rock beach and it would take me forever to get through that small area. And also the signal drops tremendously underneath that ridge. There are a couple of pockets that we drop a little bit down to like minus 104, and we went 107 on one of these sections I covered yesterday and this morning. But I will go through them quickly. So if we do lose signal, just hang in there. We will be back to you. It's just a short period that we will do so. Now, as you can see, the rock here looks just like the one down at a little bit on the smaller side, but just like the one down at High Rock, which is in Bashba area. So you'll see all of this area was similar to what this cliff would have looked like originally. All of this soil and rocks and I would say very loose formations would have been further out in the ocean, and that's what we call the weaker matter that would have got washed out. Remember, the train line passed in this general area that we're looking at right now. So all up here would have been this type of land. As you can see, it suffers tremendously from slippage and the pounding of the surf and stuff. A lot of the walks that we're going to be on this morning are very, very close to the edge. And last time we came through here, it did not look like that at all. Anyhow, this is a beautiful, beautiful section for us to pray for peace. So please join me in the prayer, or just sit back and relax, and we'll be back with you in 1 second. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Your will, not ours, be done. Amen. Just a beautiful morning. Very, very different. You can see from the sky here, the sun is behind all of these clouds. I would imagine these clouds are dust clouds. That's how it looks to me. From the satellite imagery this morning, I didn't really see any rain-bearing clouds, but I can get surprised quite easily. But it is really intense here, the haze. It is, I would say it reminds me of how it was with the St. Vincent volcano. It is very similar to that. Dark skies, just a lot of haze. You can actually feel it in the breathing this morning, which is, I don't know if it's my imagination, because, the mind picks up what the eyes see, as you all would know, because you all feel and experience some of our walks sometimes. But I definitely I'm sensing it in the air this morning. It's a little bit heavier than normal. I was talking to a guy down by the Bashba Cultural Center that they're rebuilding now, and he was telling me the same thing, that he finds he can actually smell it, or not smell with a scent, but you can feel a heavier air presence for sure. This is where we're going to start our walk this morning. They said we have a couple of dips. However, we will try and get through them as quick as possible. Good morning to everyone on board. Welcome to Barbados. Welcome to something that looks a lot different to normal. But you will see what I'm talking about in a few minutes when we crest that hill, when we look towards the north of the island. All right, here we go, and we're on our way. As you know, this morning I gave the 10-foot man the opportunity to pick a location. He was parading, because when I was here yesterday doing a signal check, although it was hazy, it was around 9:30 or so, just after I left Grenade Hall. I came through here and did some time out here. As I told you all, I am always drawn to the sea. I can go to the forestries and the jungle areas in Barbados and the hillsides, but I will always have that draw to the ocean. And yesterday, When I left up at the Grenade Hall, I decided I was going to come down, and let me tell you what a beautiful, peaceful morning it was. By myself out here along these cliffs, taking my time, walking backward and forth, just enjoying it and checking the signal strengths as well. You can see you can't even see Concept Bay Point properly from here now. And that will explain to you how heavy this thing is, because that's usually very easy to see and you're barely seeing it in the distance now. It looks like a distant island actually. That's how it looks this morning. These rocks out here are stunning. Unless you do this hike, you would not see this type of formation. We saw it the other day when we were coming down through the back of Glenburnie area. We saw them further up going closer to Martins Bay. Different rock formations that you would not normally see. A lot of people ask you, where is that? And that is because they probably have never seen it themselves. And there were locals as well that I'm talking about. Got a little bit of climbing. Now this is one of the bridge areas that would have been used for the railway at one time. So it would have run through this general section where we are, and it would have gone, as you can see where we're standing, directions would have been through there and around those rocks, or over those rocks, if at that time there was land in that section there. But that's how it would have generally have run, below the lower cliffs obviously. Alright, we're going to make our way down. We've got to do a little stepping down and a little stepping up today. There are some areas that are quite steep, and as I said before, very, very narrow. So we're going to take our time. As we know, safety is the most important thing. This is one of the low spots here. Hopefully we don't lose too much signal. Try and get myself up as fast as possible. Now, I'm not staying on the general path today because it takes us a little bit away from the coastline, and I want to show you the coastline because I think that's a beautiful point. And also that's where I'm being drawn to. Beautiful, beautiful spots. This is one of our favorite spots this morning, or one of my favorite spots this morning. When I say our, you know who I'm referring to. He was with me yesterday. So this is our 360, first 360 for the day. Enjoy this air view. I was so tempted just now to talk and say, where has Barbados gone? You can barely make out the Chalky Monk there. And that is only because I know where Chalky Monk is. You can hardly even recognize the actual shape of the man lying on his back. It's very, very difficult to see right now. Everything just disappears with the amount of haze. This is why I didn't start at 6 o'clock this morning. Out here pretty much was like night time, around 10 to 6. It was very, very dark. Not dark as in dark night time, but real hazy. I'm sure the camera would have had a lot of stress picking up. So I waited until about 5 past. I hope you'll be able to see it right now with a fairly good resolution. And as I said before, this is not a black and white vlog this morning. This is how it looks here at the moment. You can see the greenery around us, of course, but the actual looking into the ocean and stuff, you can't see any blues or turquoises or anything this morning. It just looks like a grey. No sun penetrating the water whatsoever to give us the different colorations. Just beautiful. I don't mind how it looks this morning because the beauty out here is unbelievable. I mean, the haze, of course, is obscuring all of the long visibility that we would get, you know, right out to the points of the island. From normally we would see right down in Pico Tenerife. We're barely able to see into Cattlewash right now. It is that hazy. All right, going to continue. As you see, we're walking on the ridge itself. There's really no defined path here, but it is fairly level. So I'm going to be taking my time. There are a lot of areas out here that we'll be going through with grass and stuff that have some massive crab holes. So again, I will be taking my time. I do want to bring you the absolute best I can, but of course, along with that comes the element of safety that I always exercise. Just lovely little coves and stuff. But you can see all of the rocks that you're seeing here on the beach. You can see it clearly came from this cliff, as you see eroded out the weaker matter. You can see that quite clearly from the structure of the actual cliff line itself. Now, I don't have any degrees, or I have not studied anything about geography or any of those things. I mean, to be honest with you, this is just things that I can see. They're very, very obvious here that the weaker matter has been eaten out and left the rocks. Not only the big coral rocks, but the small rocks around that you would call sea rocks. A lot of those here have come from the erosion as well. As the cliff is washed away, that is what has remained, and all the weaker matter is washed into the ocean. Don't have to do any studies on that to say that. I feel pretty confident in that, and that is just what I'm basically picking up. Beautiful ridges and points all along out here. There are a few tracks. We are sort of like moving on and off of the tracks, the hiking routes. A lot of the hiking routes actually go further inland. Like if you were to take the actual hike to Glenburnie from here, you would have to hike through a pasture that would carry you way up into the hill and then back down. There's really no hiking path that runs right along the cliff anymore that gets you from where we started to Glenburnie. But just beautiful, beautiful coastline. Now I'm going to take all the vantage points today. I'm not in a rush to go anywhere. And I just want to mention that tomorrow I'm going to be taking a Nick and 10 Foot Man day. We will not be broadcasting live tomorrow. I know. Get out your Kleenex, get out your tissues and stuff. I know you're going to be crying all right now. I feel like crying as well too. But I honestly feel as though tomorrow is a day for me just to hang out. I'm looking to go to the beach. I don't know what sun I'll get if it's like this again. But one thing for sure is I'm going to take a little peace and relaxation tomorrow, because Sunday, although I'm off, I have a lot of things to do at home, as you can appreciate. They mount up. And I also plan to do some more scouting for next week's adventures. So as I said before, we will not be broadcasting live tomorrow. As you know, our plans are always subject to change. We are very flexible in everything we do. If I wake up tomorrow morning and I feel the urge to come out here and show you all something, if something is different to normal, or if I just have the drive to come out, or if I hear God saying, Nick, go out and do your job, I will do so. You know, I may do so. And if I do so, it will not count as tabulation and stuff, because I need to spend that 6 to 8 hours tomorrow on a little self time. Self and my friend's time. I gotta call him my friend now, because you know he's a cool fella. Not that he takes all the blame very well. Doesn't give me a lot of back chat, only when I'm at home. Beautiful hills. Now we're directly below an area called Foster Hall. I know they've got some people on here that own that land or owned that land before, but Foster Hall will be directly above us where we're looking at right now. If you were driving from St. Martin's Bay or St. Glenburnie to Bashaba, you would know where you come to Foster Hall, and then you descend the hills going through the coconut groves, and that is in that general area behind these casuarina trees that you can see now. Just to give you an idea of where we are as relation to the actual land, where on the coastline we are. Again, visibility is terrible. It is now, by my watch, about 17 past 6, and it looks still like something around quarter to 6 in the morning. Very, very dark still. You can actually see the clouds, or dust clouds. You can see how the ridges are. As I said before, I don't think any of these have any rain in them at all. Not from what I saw this morning. This looks like a lot of high dust clouds are coming through. Okay, we're going to continue our track from here again. Not going to do a 360. We did one just a couple of minutes ago. We'll leave that to a little further on. A lot of loose rocks where we're walking. So when you're out here, I definitely recommend 4x4s for sure. And as I said before, because of the crab holes and stuff, and there are a lot of dips that lay under the grass, because you can appreciate this is not that often traveled. There are some areas that are more traveled than others, but this one where we are right now is not that well traveled. And so there's a lot of unseen. So I think any type of secure ankle security and stuff is what you need to be looking at. So I would say high cuts or mid cut hikers is what I'd recommend when you're coming to Barbados. I know there's some hiker shoes, but they don't give you the ankle roll support, and I think that is something you may need down, especially on these types of tracks here. I always wear mid cut, so that's something that I live on, mid cut. You know, beautiful. As I said, we're going to be doing all about here. We're going to be going to all the little vantage points to have a look at this beautiful coastline. I don't want to leave out anything. Last time we did it really far inland from here. This time I want to show you everything. Hopefully the signals will be good. Our CR hicologist is on board. He's eager to start back some hikes, so we should be seeing that in the near future. Of course, his surfology is a little bit more important than the hikology at the time, because you know, you can hike any day of the week, you can't surf any day of the week. So I can appreciate that. That's how I used to be as well. Nothing came before surfing. However, nothing comes before the journey that I'm being led on right now. So whatever I have to put to the side, whatever I have to leave alone to bring this beauty and share happiness and hope and love and care and kindness with you all, those things will not get in the way now. The primary goal for me is to do what I'm being asked to do, and that's to bring a little bit of happiness to everyone, including myself, of course. Alright, yesterday I fought with some spiders out here, so I know they're not here right now. Had a lot of webs and stuff here. You can see I've been through here yesterday. There were no tracks on this section, but I made some little tracks yesterday. I made sure to walk back over them a couple of times, so I didn't get lost this morning. The last thing I want to do is walk into areas of dead end with you all for you all to laugh at me. But as you can see, we're going right through pasture. There's really no path here except for the one that I laid this morning coming through and yesterday. So you have to be very careful going through here, because like I said, there are a lot of drop-offs, there are a lot of coral heads sticking up all over the place. You know, they're big crab holes, so you just have to be wary. It was a pleasure being here yesterday and again today, of course. Even more of a pleasure to have you all with me. Okay, now this is the track that we would have stayed on if we had done the hiker's route. And as you can see, we wouldn't have seen any of those little coves, so they're important to me. They're things that I like to see. And as I said, I'm going to bring you the beauty as I see it. For all you surfers on board, I went through by Soup Bowl and High Rock this morning early. I didn't really stop to watch the sets and analyze them, but what was coming through looked at about hip to maybe waist high. Did look as though it could have the potential for maybe a chest high set, the right tide. So you would know to gauge yourself from there. Alright, we're coming into a little area here that we had a little dip in the signal strength when I was on my way over, so hopefully it'll be okay. I will move through these areas quite quickly, so it's not that I'm putting on fast forward or ×2 speed. It just is me coming through a little quicker to make sure to try and keep the signal at any rate. I tried to get close to the coastline along there, but they're just too dense. I didn't want to pull out the cutlass and have to do a lot of cutting to get through. We'll be back on that track in just 2 seconds, so don't worry. You know my heart is on the ocean. As close as I can get to that, better for me. If you brought your swimsuits today, maybe you could get out your hoses when you get home and wet yourself down, because there will be no swimming. Here's our first dip. You can see what I was talking about where you're walking through. You can't really see the bottom of this waterway here, so you can see there's a lot of erosion there as well. We will be walking in that general area, so you just have to be real careful. And this is not a place to come when it's wet, because this type of soil here gets really sticky and will put you down real quick. You can see there's a lot of clay in this here versus what you will see, say, over on the south or the west coast of the island. Hop, skip and a jump. Yep, there you go. Had to pull into my Olympic training there. Have to mention that at some stage of the game, I can't have all the accolades and all the gold medals in the world for all my different activities and not share them with you all. That won't be righteous. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Out here, heavenly peace. There's no one around right in this immediate area. I did speak to a fisherman, as I was mentioning earlier on coming over. Real cool guy. A guy that I knew from years ago when he used to surf and stuff down here. So I did recognize him and he recognized me as well. So just chatted for a little bit. But you can see here the kind of digouts and big crab holes that you can encounter over here. So there's a big boy somewhere down in there, as you can see. And you will find those crab holes all over. So when you're walking through this kind of grassland where you cannot see, step gingerly please. Transfer your weight after you're sure of your footing. No one going to transfer your weight and find yourself falling. All this advice I'm giving myself right now, because you know me, I will go down the ground so fast then, but you know what? I would do it so gracefully that you probably wouldn't even realize. Here we go. A little more truncheon through some bush and stuff here. Yesterday when we had the millipedes, someone asked about centipedes. You know, that was the first time that centipedes have crossed my mind since I've been doing the walks. You know, I never think about them. And I, after that comment was made, I said, oh my gosh, you know how many times they probably walk through centipede areas? You know, don't worry about that. That was out of my control. So you all know what I practice. Serenity prayer. Everything hazed off. Normally we'd be seeing the other extreme of the island, Pico Tenerife, all down by Cove Bay. We'd be seeing everything fairly clearly. Can't see anything this morning at all. Even the homes are close in the hills here. Hackton's Cliff, all over, just hazed right out. Once again, you can clearly see that is a dust cloud because there's nothing, no rain. If that was a rain cloud, we would definitely have sprinkles and stuff already. I didn't even walk with my umbrella today because I'm so confident there's only dust clouds. Dust, ash, whatever the term is for it, for the volcano emissions and stuff that we're experiencing here. So these are the kind of sections you're going to be walking through. You can see this whole area has dropped off recently. Someone has started a newer path just up on the higher elevation, but you can see where the original path was. It has slipped away. We're going to see a lot of this morning. And this would have been definitely recently, because although I didn't walk this way with the vlog last time, I did walk this way coming up to where we started. And that, I think I was like close to 3 months ago. But you know, just be careful. You know, if you don't feel comfortable and you don't have a really good balance, you know, not even if you're sure-footed, if you don't have a good balance, you've got to maybe step a little closer inland or closer in track, because this is where we're going to be going across. Now, it's not the most comfortable thing for most people. For me, it is not that bad really either. Anyway, I just got some good cuts from some thorns out there. Didn't realize they were in the bush. You know, that's what happens. I like my baggies, so if I got to take some cuts in my legs and stuff, so be it. I just have to be careful when I shave my legs when I get home. So, woo, just because the 10-foot man is not here doesn't mean I can't talk some junk. Just beautiful terrain though. I mean, I definitely, when my angel comes back here, I will be most definitely taking her on the train line walk, for sure. Especially in this coastal area, without a doubt. Now you'll understand why I didn't do a 360 a few minutes ago. And this is because we have another perfect vantage point here. So I will take this with you. Now this was my 10-foot man's favorite vantage point for a 360 yesterday. This is what he told me was his favorite. I liked above, but this is his, and I can understand why. It's beautiful as well. Alright, we're going to rotate in the opposite direction now because I don't want to get dizzy and fall down. But surfers, you can see clearly, there's still a little set that's coming through. The wind is not bad. It's more of a side shore than an onshore, so it's pretty good. Not bad at all. Here we go. Just a second before I say what I have to say, let me look all around me and make sure he is not here. Just let me check it out. Hold on. Yeah, don't see him anywhere at all. Alright, yep. Okay, he's nowhere in sight, so I can say this at the moment. I have to admit, I'm going to do it quietly just in case he's hiding in the bushes. I have to admit that his 360 location was better than mine. Anyway, I deny that. If anyone say what I've just said, I'm going to deny it. So I'm going to make sure that if I see any comments that refer to that as well, I will make sure and bypass them, or I'll turn off the lights so he cannot come around me before I read them for sure, because I don't want him to know. I just said it's our secret. Beautiful, beautiful morning. Absolutely beautiful. You know, I would love to have been clear, but you know what? This is how it is. This is how we are supposed to see this today. For whatever reasons it is, this is how it's supposed to be today. And this is how we are going to enjoy it, because this is just stunning. So my fisherman friend way down there in the point, didn't ask him about putting the camera on him, so I won't be doing that unless I can read his body language and stuff as we get closer. But you see where we're going down, these are the kind of things to get to these vantage points that you're going to be taking on. Now that doesn't look very steep, but that is a good 45-degree angle. So you got to be maybe more than that, closer to 90. So you got to be careful when you're out here. And as you can see, it's all loose rock. This entire hillside here, besides the rock, the big coral forms that are in it, as you can see here, is just a lot of loose surface, very loose. So when it's wet out here is very slippery. And as I said, a couple of the areas that we're going up and down this morning would definitely be difficult, really difficult, if it was wet, for sure. Slip, slide, and away for sure. But is this not just beautiful? Here again, you can see the big rocks that would have been in the land when it was eroded from here. These are what would remain, and that's not talking about the big coral masses, it's talking about the looser rocks that are around as well. More evidence of a foundation for the train line here as well. So you can see it was clearly cut in squares. This is obviously a support area, so maybe here was like sort of like right on the edge of the coast itself. I'm feeling pretty good today. I went home and watched that vlog yesterday, and you know, I don't know, when I was down in there, it was just so silent. That is the thing that caught me off guard, because we actually arrived at the forest before the forest woke up, which is something that I have never done before. So that surprised me. When we did it in May, it was obviously a lot brighter earlier, maybe half an hour, 40 minutes sunrise more earlier, and therefore the birds and even the monkeys had come out. By the time I got into a Cattlewash area, coming up Spree Hill, and also in Bell Plain, there were troops of monkeys crossing the road. So that would mean that at that time would have sort of like coincided with the time that we were talking about the last time that we did down at Grenade Hall. You can see there is a wall, fellas, so, or ladies, of course. So get your boards out if you want a little fun. I'm sure you'll find something at the sandbank or somewhere today. Boy, my memory's so bad. I can't remember where I had the low signals. So I'm just going to trot through any lower sections that look like little troughs, just to make sure that we keep it fresh and clean. So we're back on another fisherman's track, I call this. There's also a hiking track closer in, but this is why I'm explaining about not to venture out here when it's wet, because it's a big drop off, a steep drop off, very loose. And don't be ashamed to put your hand down, because I'm going to put down my hand right now. I'm not going to show you that, but I'm going to put it down for sure. There's a root here that I'm just going to hold on to, because I don't want to slip sliding away with this for sure. Beautiful, beautiful. Absolutely stunning. I can just use some other words today, briefly, because you know I'm going to resort back to my favorites. But let's say one that I used to say all the time. This is a fantastic day to be out here to see this spectacular scenery. Okay, now I got out of my system. Let's say it again. This place is stunning then. Jeez. Yes, I called my angel from out here when I was doing some of my scouting and let her see this area that we're going into now. We were a little closer down, but you know, it's just to lift her spirits and let her see her home, reminding her where awaits her. You know, out there in Canada it's getting quite cold now. Not freezing, but certainly cold, and therefore, you know, it is nice to be able to lift her spirits as well throughout the day. We speak every day numerous times. I'm taking a seat on a homemade bench here. I'm going to give you a 180 because I don't want to get up. Too lazy. And I'm going to let you see this 180 here now. And it's going to be accompanied with silence. So here we go. Just lovely. And in case you all, ladies especially, and some of you gentlemen may like to keep your legs in fashionable state, as you can see, war injuries are obvious out here, so wear some long pants if you would like. I'm not hurting, it's not a problem. I just want to show you why you should wear maybe some track pants or something if you'll be walking through these bushes, especially if you're doing a whole hike. Because there's some areas there are some thorns that you don't even see. For example, the ones I walked through a little while ago, I walked through the same area yesterday, didn't get any sticks at all, and this morning they decided that they were going to say, all right, I missed you yesterday, I'm going to catch you today. All right, just to show you where I am and let you see the beauty of what I was just enjoying. This is what I was just sitting on and enjoying out here. You know, there's something that I have recently seen a lot more of than I've seen in the past, and a comment just made me mention it. And that is that we no longer just have individuals on here, we have entire families that come on. Families are all over the world, they're not even near each other. There are hours playing right away. Yet every morning they're coming and sharing their time together and sharing their love together. That tells you the power of our EMC. It is an amazing thing. We have husbands, wives, girlfriends, boyfriends. We have everybody on board. We even have young teens on board. Good morning, teen, if you're here. And if you're not, no problem. I know that my promotional can will let you know that I greeted you this morning on air. So you can always come and have a peep at it later on. But we have all the generations on now. It's no longer just the older generation. Notice I didn't say old generation. I said older generation. And, you know, we have all types of people here now. 40s, 30s, 20s. Have a lot of Bajans. When I first started with the EMC, we were made up mainly of guests and friends and family from overseas that wanted to see their home, that were unable to travel here. Now we have tons of Bajans on board that come out every morning and enjoy the beauty of their island because they're unable to get out here. People that take lunch breaks or tea breaks or you know, get on a bus later than normal just so they can get 2 minutes to share their love, share their care, and walk away feeling the peace that we bring every morning. It is an amazing, amazing God-given journey. Just beautiful. No rain here at all, folks. This is all dust and haze. No rain at all. I will tell you, the temperature is a little bit cooler last night. We actually dipped, I think it was to 25 degrees centigrade, was the coolest time last night. Today they're talking about getting to 29 or 30, so this cloud coverage will obviously bring a little bit of cooling. Last night was surely a lot cooler. I didn't have to resort to a sweater or anything like that there, but you know, I was feeling a nip in the air for sure. Much nicer night. Now when I say nip in the air, I got two big fans pointing on me. I don't sleep without fans. I used to sleep with air conditioner every night when my angel was here, but since she's left there, I just sleep with fans and quite comfortable. It's me and the Ninja Cat Spaz sleep every night. Just lovely, lovely, lovely having the companionship from her. And you know, while my angel is missing, she has definitely taken over by sharing lots of love and care with me, for sure. It's an amazing thing what animals can do for someone's life, huh? I have dogs, or I've had dogs in my life that were like my children. Anybody messed with them, it was like messing with a child. You know, that's how I feel about them. They got sick, I felt as though it was one of my children who were dying or not feeling well, you know. Sorry to go to that extreme, but sometimes that was the case. I've had dogs all around me all my life, so I've seen a lot come and a lot go, but they all live on in my memory for sure. I don't forget them at all. Still no sun. No sun whatsoever. Just a little bit of cracks there in the actual clouds that it's trying to peek through. We're now looking at 20 minutes to 7. Normally this would be a brilliant sunshine. Our 10-foot friend would be jumping up and down and parading, and he would have been the star of the show this morning, he would claim. But he's not here today, so I can bad talk him if I want. He's not in defend himself. Just beautiful. I just love the coastline, especially the east coastline. You don't see these anywhere else. I love, love, love this area. I would say my favorite area is Bath Beach to Tent Bay. That's on the coastline itself. Now all the other coastline is magnificent and beautiful, and I always talk about it, as you all would know, but That area is where nature touches me. That area I hardly ever see anyone. And that area I can appreciate the beauty and the strength of nature and the power of nature by the raw force of the ocean out here. As you can see what it does to the coastline. So this is where I started with my angel yesterday. You see lots of crab holes all over here where I'm going, very marshy. Yeah, dude, thanks, man. Yep, for sure. So as you can see, this is exactly where I started from yesterday. So if you received a call from someone say at 10 o'clock in the morning and you were having really cool and rainy conditions and a little bit dark, and you received this, even with this haze, I'm sure it would lift your spirits. Because I'll tell you, when I saw her face yesterday and I heard her expressions, I knew how much she appreciated this and how much she felt of this here. It's just beautiful, just beautiful. So you can now see what all of the PVC tubing is used for. You know, we have rods out all over the place. No one has to be holding them because, you know, if anything it hits on that, as you can see, that's going to bend a little bit, maybe against some nips, or maybe it's the ocean pulling it around. But that is what it's for. So you can run multiple rods and you can fish in numerous locations. But this is just stunning, stunning, stunning coastline. Now, when we're starting to walk from where we're going now, right over almost to Tent Bay, we're going to be having some lower signals, but we'll get it in patches because it's going to be picking up between the repeater that's up on the top of Hackton's Cliff and the one that's in Cattlewash. So we'll be going between the two of those. So it will get some highs and lows. So just bear with us. If you do lose the transmission for a couple of seconds, don't worry. I'm going to continue walking and hopefully pick it back up. We saw that yesterday in Grenade Hall. I did not know that until I actually got home. As I told you, if you're walking in areas like that, my concentration has to be on where my footing is going. I didn't see the messages. When I got home, I definitely saw, the pixely areas where people said they'd lost signal. Some people still saw it, but it was fairly pixely. And my replays, it definitely was pixely. Tide right now, this is a mid-tide. I think high tide is around 9 o'clock or something, somewhere in that kind of time frame. So I would say we're experiencing a mid-tide at the moment. When we first came here, it was on the lower side, but it's definitely mid now. All right, so along that area, you can see where the white surface is on the cliff. That has all had slippage in the not too far past. I'm going to show you in a minute how bad it is in some of those areas because we will be going past there now. So again, hold on, folks. If you do lose the transmission, don't get worried. We're going to get back in as quick as possible. If you have to go, remember, we will always have this up on Facebook later on. It will upload hopefully in the highest quality it can. Hopefully it'll be sourced today, which will be 720 and not the 540 that we've seen over the last couple of days. I then run it through a processor and put it up on YouTube. However, it goes from like 300-400 megabytes to maybe 12-14 gigabytes when it goes through the processor, trying to get it cleaned up a little bit. So when I put it up onto YouTube, it can take considerable time. Some days the connection on YouTube is up in half an hour, 40 minutes. Some days 3, 4, 5 hours. It all depends on not my connection per se, but maybe just the entire connection through the network itself. So bear with me when you see it delayed on YouTube. It's not that I don't put it up. I start to process it and put it up by say around 10 o'clock. Sometimes it doesn't get till 8, 10 o'clock in the night. It all depends on how big it is. All right, so here we go. Durations like this will take a long time, as you can appreciate, because we are now going to be going into like 40 minutes now, 43 minutes now. And I would think we'll probably end up close to 50 minutes. So that will be a much bigger file. That will take a little while. So just bear with us. We are doing the best that technology will give us. As we said before, we practice the serenity prayer. It's beyond my control. All I can do is get it processed, start to upload, and then the rest is not in my hands. So don't worry about that too much. Just beautiful. You can see that coconut tree will be gone real soon. Many of these here on this edge will also be gone. But as you can see, the coconut trees all through in the inside areas will then become the coastline as time goes on. We're not talking about today or tomorrow. We're talking about over a period of time. Just beautiful, beautiful terrain. Okay, we're now just below Andromeda Gardens. Andromeda Gardens will be just up in that area in the center of the screen. I did ask to go there, but they may be closing because of one of their staff who was caught the COVID. So I think they'll be closing for about 2 weeks, but I've been reassured that as soon as they reopen, we will be welcomed back with open doors. All right, let's go. All right, get ready for the area where we can get some flickers possibly, but this is too beautiful not to share with you. So we're going to take this walk. Now I have on no shirt, pair of baggies, 4x4s, no backpack, have on a hat too. But lost, do I not feel just great out here? The freedom of being able to walk here, the freedom to be able to talk here, the freedom to be able to show you all this beauty. This is just amazing. God has blessed me beyond words. I don't know why it took so long to follow him, but it was all obviously for a reason. You know, I don't have any control over that now. I only have control of what I can do going forward. Going forward, that is what I will be doing forever. All right, first dip. This is going to go down to about 110, so get ready for some speckliness. That's minus 110 as well, guys. Alright, we should be picking up the Cattlewash repeater now, so hopefully it will start to clear up a little bit if it was bad. This place usually has running water. Again, more train line supports, as you can see. This is where it would have come through for sure. Usually there's a lot of water here, but as I said, for the last few vlogs, we are really suffering terribly right now with dry spell. You know, the island doesn't look that way because of all the volcanic ash and stuff that we have from St. Vincent. You know, fertilizing everything, it looks so green and lush, but the surface itself is real dry. There's little cracks already, and this is supposedly our wet time. Just beautiful. So how could I not show you this here, even if it was a chance of possibly coming through at a lower resolution? Have to share this beauty with you. Now we have been walking through an area where you wouldn't have seen any homes at all. There are now going to be some homes up on our upper ridge here, as you can see. And the entrance to where these are will be through by the Atlantis Hotel. Just before you descend the hill by Atlantis, around to the car park or to Tent Bay, the road will bring you up there. There's a lot of time sharing up there as well. If you're interested in some Airbnb, they also have facilities up there. What I did notice, good morning sir. What I did notice yesterday is that Atlantis Hotel have long and short-term and long-term accommodations. I saw quite a few hire cars down in there, so I'm sure they have quite a few people staying there, and that was outside of lunchtime. That was early in the morning, so there would obviously be people that are staying there. I saw them again this morning too when I came over here, just about 5:30. So this is the kind of terrain you're dealing with. Very close to a big drop off, so we'll be taking our time going down here. And this is why I'm mentioning to you, maybe it's not a good idea to come down here when it's wet because of this. There's another pixely area, folks, sorry, but we're going to do it as quick as possible, but safety first. It's quite a bit of drop off here, maybe about 24 feet, 25 feet, somewhere in that vicinity. And this is how the path disappears I was talking to you about. This is what happens. This is the erosion that we're seeing. This will be water erosion, not sea erosion. See all the mud's moving. You can see the path is disappearing. Someone will come and cut a path later on, probably the hiking association that use these routes very often. But we are going to just make our way across here right now. Lots of erosion. You can see the drop off. You can see the cliff formation. You can see why it's disappearing, because this is all loose matter. This is not compacted matter. It's all loose matter here. Just obviously with the different coral heads in between. Very close in the ridge here. I would say maybe a foot to the outer side of the path at the most in some areas. Once again, this is a perfect example of the white cliffs we saw just now in the distance with all of the very loose soil. So just be careful, please. Remember, exercise caution. If you want a picture, make sure that the picture comes with safety. Don't go to get that extreme shot and then find yourself hurt in these areas. Another thing to be wary of is the same thing we've talked about before. I'm going to show you, I'm going to lean over and show you. This is under the grass. So when you think you're walking over solid grass, there is no foundation under the grass. So please be very careful. I don't normally go that deep in, but I wanted to really show you and stress to you how to be very careful out here. Many different vantage points you can go. I don't want to go any stay down in here too much longer, because I know the signal strength in this section here is very weak. We should be okay when we crest this corner here. Then we'll do a little bit more of some 360s and stuff. But you can see all of the cliff here, overhanging. Don't step out there in that grass, or you will be down on that beach for sure. and it's not going to be a pleasant fall. That's going to be a hard one, definitely. But you see a lot of this erosion. This is the white cliff that we were looking at when we were walking just now, the whole white face of that cliff. This is the area that all that slippage is occurring. And you can see all the rocks on the beach have come from the erosion and stuff. When this cliff was falling, you can see all the rocks in the cliff itself. That's what's ending up on this beach down here. Beautiful Barbados. So under hazy conditions, overcast conditions, rainy conditions, it doesn't make any difference. You can't hide the beauty of nature. That is beautiful nature. There is where we've just walked across. If you are able to handle this here, I am asking you please to bring your hiking gear and come and do this line here between Bath, especially between Bath and Tent Bay area and into Bashba, Joes River and onto the east coast. I didn't mention Concept because from Concept you have to go way inland because of all the erosion and stuff on the coastline itself where the train track used to be. You have to walk right through into the hills and then come back down into Bath. Again, if that's the kind of adventure you want, start at Concept Bay. Actually start way up by Bell Point, and then you can work your way around from there because you can actually walk from Bell Point as well along the cliff and come through Concept Bay if that's what you would like. But me, I would say if you want to see the beach and stuff, want to stay on the coastline, I would start from Bath and I would walk my way right down. You can walk right on to almost Pico Tenerife on the coastline itself. Because when you get into Cattlewash, you can be walking a lot of hot sand and stuff. If you have one of your hikers, you may want to take the roadside and just stay and watch it from, walk from there. Because if you start getting sand in your hikers, you know the kind of problems you're going to have. A lot of gabling has gone on here to try and save this coastline on the section here in front of Atlantis Hotel. You will see all of that. You can see all the rocks and boulders that have been dropped to try and secure the land structure from any further slippage. Directly in front of us is the Atlantis Hotel, and we are in a bay called Tent Bay, and that is the little fishing port that's down here. Can you imagine these guys go out from here? Now today is a calm day. If you see these sea conditions out here that these guys go through in the channels and the way they have the tiny sets to get out through here, it is an amazing thing to sit and watch. Yeah, you still see all mentioning you know who. I don't mind. Sorry. Today I got the show. He has a whole back place today for sure. Just beautiful. Now, as I said, the road that goes to where those homes where we saw just where that guy was sitting on the lounger fishing, it's just up there, runs through the hills. And as I said before, also there's some Airbnb up in there if you're interested. Atlantis Hotel. Right, I don't really think I'm going to talk too much about Atlantis. All I can say is to you all, if you want some of the best Bajan food buffets on the island, there's Sunday buffets, there are plate meals in the week itself, the option of fish or chicken. You know, their menu is incredible. I'm not sure if the chef is the same chef that was here when I was here a couple of years back when we called to inquire, and then we came down and ate down here. But the chef here is vegan, and therefore you will know the vegan options are plentiful as well. So we also talked about Emil, who unfortunately lost his life down here. A young teenager that died while he was spearfishing out here. A very, very avid seagoer. His whole family have lived in the sea all their lives. He was a surfer, a snorkeler, a fisherman. Everything that touched the ocean, he was. But you know, when your time is up, your time is up. And no matter how knowledgeable you are, when you come into areas like this here, there's always the element of risk, you know, because these underwater caves and stuff can deceive even the best people around. Good morning, folks. Hope you're all having a good day. Just beautiful. We're not going to go too much further. I'm just going to stop sort of like in Tent Bay area here. This is where our broadcast will end for today. For those that have joined late, please note we will not be doing a live broadcast tomorrow, or the intention is not to do one. If that decision changes, well, you will know for sure. But at this present time, we won't be doing one. I'll be taking a Nick and 10-foot man day. We will be going to some beaches on the island and just going horizontal, enjoying the sand gravity, enjoying the peace and the quiet. Like I said, Sunday is a work day for me, sort of like a self-work day for me. So I won't have the pleasure of being able to just relax on Sunday, so I'm going to do that tomorrow. If any of you are on the beaches on the south coast tomorrow, I will most definitely see you all. Just keep an eye out for me. If you see me with earphones in or earbuds, jamming some music, and you don't see me looking at you, shout, jump up and down and wave. Nobody's gonna laugh at you. Well, I won't anyhow. But just wave and let me know you're there, because I love to meet you all. As you all may not know, but I'm not going to be fully vaccinated until next month, the middle of next month. So right now I'm still staying clear of most people. I will wear my mask when I'm in areas, being very careful. But then when I see you on the beach, I will stand 10 to 12 feet from you. So understand and respect that, because it's not that I don't want to get close to you, because trust me, my first instinct is to run over and give you a hug, because that's just how I am. I'm a Bajan at heart. That's what we like to do. We like to share our love, share our kindness and everything else. But if you all see me acting a little bit strange and keeping my distance, you all will know why. With the situation in the island right now, obviously I have to err on the side of caution. So I won't be good to go yet, but I will be very soon. Yeah, I'm going to do a 360 from here and let you enjoy this a little bit. This is a nice spot, I think, to give a 360. Hopefully signal is good here. Here we go. Just for those that have been down here recently and saw a lot of construction going on where the old cultural center used to be. That's on the hill as you're coming out of actual High Rock, Bashba area, coming as you're going into the Atlantis Hotel. The progress on that is flying. It is a really modern looking facility they're designing. It's going to be amazing down here. So when you come into Bashba, you can be offered lots of different stuff. I'm not sure exactly what's going to go on, but I know it's going to be very cultural. So that will be happening in the very near future, because the progress on that is flying, as I said before. Anyway, everyone, today is a day full of haze, a day that we are unable to see all of the kind of visibility that we normally would see in the long distances or distances far away. However, as you can appreciate, you have enjoyed some of the most beautiful scenery in the world, in one of the most beautiful places in the world, if not the most beautiful. You know me, my biased opinion would be it is the most beautiful country in the world, and it has the most beautiful coastline in the world and the friendliest people in the world. Now, those things are just echoes of what I hear people saying every day and what I firmly believe in my heart. So hopefully you will have the opportunity to come and spend some time with us here in Barbados. Hopefully if you're coming in December or January, we will be able to do some walks together and, you know, enjoy this coastline and enjoy the scenery together. It's a beautiful, beautiful day in Barbados. Unfortunately, our friend did not make it today, but I can tell you that I know that he wishes he was here, and I will tell you for him, good morning, and I will not tell you that he gave some good locations today. So anyhow, don't keep that quiet. That's our secret. Got to keep that one under the cover. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the peace of life. Enjoy what God has given you. Be grateful for everything you have. Enjoy life. Pass on your kindness, your smiles, your care, and just your normal good heart to everyone around you. As I said, and as you know, some people will just look at you and wonder if you're going off, or think you're mad, or wonder how you could find life so great. But the thing is that if you have gratitude for everything that you have, and that you love life, and you have a positive light to follow, and you have turned everything over to God, and left only the things that you can deal with yourself, then you have a great day, and you will have a fantastic life. So to all of you all, I love you, and the Bajan Warrior is the beauty of Barbados through my eyes. To all of you EMC family and friends and everyone else that's watching this vlog at some stage again today, Barbados is open. Come on down. We look forward to welcoming you. This beauty is way too much for us to handle by ourselves. We need some assistance. So come on down. Love you all. Have a great day.